now we are going in officially in a hurricane season within 4 days, and it stays until November in Florida. So we're going to talk about the high-rise buildings. Are they good or are they safe to when in the time of the hurricane to live in? And many of the things I'm going to share as an experience from my clients, and just to give you an idea, like Florida residents, how, what they feel. So in case you are moving here and you are considering living in a high-rise building, these precautions you must take, especially in a time of hurricane. So let's start this video right now. So hurricane is most, I would say, the scariest part many people think of when they are moving to Florida, because we are, as you see in a map, the Florida is like a southernmost state. You will see next to Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean. So especially the South Florida has a lot of probability of getting the hurricane, especially the season starts from June to going up to like 20th November. So that's the most season where the more like the water is more active in the ocean, and that's what causes hurricane season. And again, the last actual hurricane we faced came in 2005. That's called Wilma. There are a couple of close calls we experienced in last couple of years. However, that was not actual hurricane categories. It will still fall in. Many of the hurricanes even pass through Florida to Atlanta or North Carolina, South Carolina, other states. So again, the Florida has the most probability, but that's not the only state can have hurricanes technically. So now let's talk about specifically, let's say, especially in a hurricane time, would you consider living in a high-rise or not? Florida has many cities like Hollywood, Fort Lauderdale, or Miami. Those have a condo market, and that's like a high-rise buildings. I personally right now have a lot of New Yorkers. They are moving from New York to here and trying to buy even a second home, we'll call it vacation homes, in those condos. And this made me to cover up this topic because many of my clients were asking this question, like, it should be kind of safe to live in that high-rise buildings, right? Because the logic says in a hurricane the most probability is having the flood, and the flood you can still prevent. You feel that you can prevent while you are in a high-rise buildings. So yes, that's true. In a hurricane, the flood is most common you may face for the couple of days to the hurricane, but that's the illusion. The Florida Emergency Department says, like, if you're living in a high-rise building, then you think that you are safe there, and that will prevent you to evacuate the condos. So there are a couple of surveys happened where state government has communicated with the condo associations or condo residents, and many people even refuse to evacuate when there is evacuation order is executed, because they think they are on upstairs in a high-rise building, then it will not matter much to them. But let me explain how does that matter, and it could be more wind and more possibility of danger you may face if you are in an upper higher story, especially after crossing like a 20th floor. Oh man, it's getting dangerous over here. So let me tell you, like, if you are in a 3-story building, then the wind you may feel is 100 miles per hour. If you go up to like a 20 stories, then you may feel like 115 miles per hour the same time. And if you go much higher, like a 40th story, like a penthouse topmost, then you may feel around 120 miles, 25 miles per hour. So at the same time, when the wind is there, the lower on the street you may feel less, but as you go up you may feel more. So at this moment, of course, because of this advanced codes from the city and all kind of advanced technology, all buildings which are built in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, all the crazy high-rise buildings are built very, very strong, like structurally. I mean, technically the hurricane cannot damage. You may feel that the building is moving and is hardly noticeable, but the engineers do tell like it actually moves in a hurricane time. However, it's almost impossible that the building will fall down, and that is true, but there are some other things could happen if you do not focus on that, and that can make it more miserable. I'll give an example. My client, they faced the Hurricane Wilma in 2005, and they lived in Miami condo on almost around 40th floor, like higher floor, and they thought like, okay, it will be very safe there, and this is their experience, personal experience. Okay, what happened is the electricity went out. The electricity is actually in a condo, it's for the emergency purpose. Many people don't even realize that part. So in condos, the generators are there, but that's only used for the emergency lights or the fire alarms, or for fire pumps, but it's not quite a bit used for air conditioner or your inside lights, like unless you have your own private generators, but that's impossible to keep it in a condos. You can still keep in a single family houses. So basically, if you see this, you could be in a condos for no food, no electricity, for a couple of days to survive. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but that makes life a little miserable. So my client, let me come back to that story. So she had an experience. They had all impact windows. Okay, the impact window helps to prevent gets shattered in a hurricanes, and that's what another code right now in the high-rise buildings. Those are made with the glasses. Still, they are very strong to survive in the hurricanes because those glasses are different. Those are impact gases, and those are not meant to be shattered. But of course, in a hurricanes, because of the heavy wind, you may feel the glasses are bending, and literally they saw that in their windows happening, and they were on the topmost floor, and the wind is much higher compared to the downstairs. And what happened, from even though it's impact glasses, but the wind is more, the impact is more, the rain is coming almost horizontally. Let's say sometimes the next to their building, if there is not other buildings, then if it is more open, then the wind comes more horizontally and the rain comes horizontally, and that causes the water to come in even though those glasses, the windows are impact. So technically they had a water almost up to the ankle level. They had to kind of drain the water continuously from their living room area. So that kind of problems, they did face it personally, especially in the time of hurricane on the topmost floor. They have a very beautiful condo, very beautiful. It's a fun to live in a penthouse, amazing. And we have sold a couple of penthouses, and it's like beautiful look. You may get the beautiful breeze all the time, but when there's evacuation orders executed, make sure you evacuate. You got to be, honestly, I mean, hurricanes are not bad. Let's say in earthquakes, the building may fall down and things like crazy can happen, but that may not happen. At the same time, the life do become miserable if you are not prepared for it. So you got to listen to the governments very closely when the actual hurricane comes in a role play. There are many advantages if you live in a condo. I have one video where I'm comparing condo versus single family houses. You can check out that, but I did wanted to make this video about the hurricane because that's another, I think many of the people had these questions. Again, I do not want to scare you guys. It's not bad. As I told you, right now it's 2021. I'm recording this video. In 2005, we get a real hurricane. So many times the close call comes, but it doesn't actually come actual hurricane, but we do get prepared. So I'm going to make another video where, you know, things like what you can get prepared yourself if the hurricane comes. So as long as you are prepared, is not bad. And if the evacuation order comes where you're living, especially near to beach areas, then definitely follow that. Do not think since you are on a high rise or a higher floor, the flood will not affect you, or you are 100% safe there. No, I mean, that's not true. That's why I'm telling all facts. These are the surveys or research I have seen in a couple of the very good authentic websites where they talk about if the hurricane category 2 passes, it could be a little bit of dangerous. So 4 or 5 is very rare you face it, no matter, that could impact very bad. But even category 3 also impacts very bad, especially if you're on a higher floor. So, make sure, when this hurricane things comes, of course, you are prepared. That's very important. I hope this is a little bit helpful for you. And I'm going to make, again, more in general video about the hurricane preparations. So check out that video. It will come soon. Thank you guys, and I will see you in my